How did the infiltrators learn about the location where Hule was held? And how did they time their plan just before the Yaoqing messengers were ready to escort him? Finding the answer to these questions shouldn't be too difficult. What truly matters is if we can gather the clues that lead us to the mastermind behind all of this.
I understand, but I'm afraid it won't be an easy task.
For a long time, this hidden force has been pursuing their own goals and undermining the security of the Luofu. Backing down now will only encourage them to further endanger the peace here.
The Ten Lords Commission will support your decision with everything we have, General.
Dan Heng and Ling Sha, I'll need both of you to accompany me on this challenging journey.
Well, it's part of my responsibilities as the Cauldron Master. So, where would you like to start, General?
Let's start with those Borisin disguised as Foxians.
My people have already prepared the evidence. Incense ascends, entwined with ethereal clouds. According to Lieutenant Yenqing's report, he stumbled upon a few suspicious Foxians at Stargazer Navalia. After following them, he discovered that they were actually Borisin in disguise. This is one of the bodies.
Looking at him now, it's hard to imagine how he transformed into a Foxian.
My alchemists detected some complex ingredients in his remains, which might explain how these Borisin were able to disguise themselves as Foxians. Simply put, Foxians and Borisin share a common ancestry. Although they look completely different now, there isn't much genetic difference between them. This medicine allows Borisin to temporarily change their shape into that of Foxians.
So, in other words, if they stop taking the medicine, their true form will soon be revealed?
Indeed. This means that these Borisin have a steady supply of the medicine within the Luofu. The disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Looks like the Alchemy Commission is involved once again. When I was sorting through the prescriptions they used, I came across one called Semblance Reversion Essence. It's designed to help those disciples suppress signs of their Mara-struck forms and maintain their normal appearance. When I compared it to the medicine found in the Borisin's body...
They're one and the same, aren't they?
The medicinal properties and ingredients may differ, but the principle remains the same.
Since ancient times, the Borisin have always sought to have more powerful bodies, regarding the Foxians as weaklings. Yet, in order to save their warhead, they were willing to disguise themselves as Foxians. Their determination is quite remarkable.
If these infiltrators rely on the medicine to maintain their disguise, then following this lead in our investigation seems prudent. Please follow me. Here we are. According to the judge, this area is not yet under control, so we should proceed cautiously. I've captured the nature of the medicine in my sensor. By following the medicinal fumes, we should be able to retrace the steps of the disguised Borisin. Incredible strength. The attacker shattered this warden's bones with a single blow.
Such brute strength is not something an ordinary Borisin possesses. This is likely the work of Hule.
If I may be so bold to ask, is this Borisin truly that formidable?
I have lived a bit longer and engaged in a few more battles than you, Miss Ling Sha. To the Alliance, Borisin have always been the most formidable adversaries. And Hule is a monster feared even among his own kind. With his strength, Hule united numerous Borisin packs, forming a grand army of abominations of abundance. they constantly pushed the Alliance's armies into perilous positions over 7 centuries ago. I followed my mentor on a campaign against the abominations, and I personally witnessed the devastation on the battlefield after Hule appeared. Even with medicinal pellets that suppress the fear caused by his lupitoxin, countless Cloud Knights succumbed to panic in the face of his murderous aura. They couldn't even raise a hand in resistance. If the former sword champion hadn't immobilized Hule with her Frostblade, the outcome of that fateful battle could have been very different. By the end of the battle, only a few of us remained. The crimson moon cast the sheen of blood on all. Everything I saw was painted dark red.
If that's the case, why wasn't the beast executed instead of being imprisoned? On the Xianzhou Juming, the judges cast those unforgivable and nearly immortal abominations of abundance into the eternal flames of the stars, reducing them to ashes. Their so-called immortality is just a facade. I mean, nothing can truly defy death, can it? I just don't understand why the Lawfu kept this tumor for so long, leading to the terrible situation we're facing now. But I guess I understand. The people of the Lawfu are known for their kindness. Even when faced with the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, they couldn't bring themselves to cut it out. Instead, they exiled the healer, who tried to solve the problem, to the Xianzhou Juming.
I understand if you hold grudges against me, Miss Lingshaw. I take the blame for the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. As for why Hule was only in prison, I can shed some light on that too.
I'm just a healer. I'm not familiar with the past. I'd appreciate it if you could enlighten me, General.
All right. Let me tell you more about it as we go.
Eternal.
Both body and mind must be pure.
Stay in step. Let's improvise.
Joining the battle. Time. Detonate.
The mood is set. Just let the show begin.
Some value, I suppose.
Like until everything burns to ashes! Fight to live!
Take your position.
Life. A true marvel.
Did this Cloud Knight also take the medicine?
No. This is a Borisin in disguise. A guard killed him before he could return to his original form.
All these Borisin are dressed in official attire. Besides the Cloud Knight, there were also 2 Borisin disguised as members of the Skyfaring Commission and the Artisanship. Whoever is providing them with official identities must hold the position of power. Let's search elsewhere.
Someone bit open his arteries and drained almost all of his blood while he was still alive. Such a cruel and ruthless act.
Despite being a long-lived species, Borisin are actually more like predatory beasts. that must feed on raw blood and flesh. I've heard that Hule was deprived of food and water in the shackling prison. It's hard to imagine how he managed to suppress his hunger for over 7 centuries. Will the hostage from the Yaoqing be able to avoid being his meal?
Such is the terrible nature of the abominations of abundance. We subjected him to the Forest of Swords to drain his life force. But in the end, his punishment turned into a test of our patience, just like you said, Miss Lingshaw. Casting a creature that can't be killed into a star would be a way to permanently get rid of it. But unfortunately...
The Foxians didn't agree to that.
Exactly. The atrocities committed by Hule went beyond mere massacres. Throughout numerous wars, we made every effort to eradicate the Borisin. But Hule, with his mysterious sorcery, turned countless Foxians into his pawns. And so the Borisin kept returning. The Foxians curse his name day and night, and they even use it to scare children into staying quiet. How could they grant a swift death to such a great sinner? I wonder if you know why Hule wasn't taken into custody by the Foxian majority Xianzhou Yaoqing, but instead imprisoned in the Xianzhou Luofu, Miss Lingshaw.
As you mentioned, your mentor was an exceptional warrior and was the one who defeated Hule, an extraordinary achievement. Therefore, the Marshal placed this feral beast under the jurisdiction of the Xianzhou Luofu as an honor, I assume?
It seems you have a major misunderstanding about this arrangement, Miss Lingshaw. Allow me to explain it to you.
Incense ascends, entwined with ethereal clouds.
Yanqing told me that an IPC ship was attacked by Borisin. Is this what they were transporting on the ship?
Yes. The Artisanship Commission and Alchemy Commission conducted a joint examination and found that the parts of this machine are made from specially refined Borisin biotissue. I heard the Intelligentsia Guild has been researching the biological properties of long-life species, hoping to make medical or combat-related discoveries. However, they haven't dared to cross any lines due to their so-called relationship with the Alliance.
Perhaps to those scholars, Borisin are no different from lab animals. Maybe the Borisin attacked that ship to retaliate against the Intelligentsia Guild for experimenting on them?
No. If it were only about revenge, they could just wreck the ship and destroy all the cargo, instead of allowing it to end up in the shackling prison. It was a deliberate display to showcase the dangerous nature of the cargo in broad daylight. This way, the cargo would end up in the shackling prison, serving as a tool for the prison break.
This skill in exploiting the blind spots of others' mindsets is so atypical of them. I'm afraid the IPC and the Intelligentsia Guild unknowingly became their accomplices.
Watch out! This thing is still alive! Even after suffering such severe attacks? Take your positions.
Their imitation of long-life species has crossed the line. Until everything burns to ashes! Fight to live! Enjoying yourself? Tactic truth burns clear as a flame. Everything in this world is merely fleeting.
A picture of grace and elegance.
These are abnormal. These are abnormal.